Well, South by Southwest has definitely been the launching ground for a lot of different applications, different services out there. We've seen Twitter, we've seen Foursquare, just to name a few over the last several years. But this year's South by, the main attraction has definitely been location-based applications, especially one in particular being Highlight. Now, one person got the opportunity to, well, sit down and actually have a one-on-one interview with the founder of Highlight. That happens to be Molly McHugh of Digital Trends. You've seen her here on the Pulse on Technology, but you also have read plenty of articles as part of DT and Digital Trends coverage. So we welcome into the show right now, Molly McHugh. Molly, how you been?
Good. How you guys?
I'm doing very well. So South by, treating you all right or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted, but that's okay. We're all tired, and it's been a lot of fun.
All right, it's better to have work than no work, so it's definitely a good thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so talk a little bit about Highlight. I mean, obviously, the big commotion everybody continues to talk about down there is location. It seems like it's almost, I've heard the comparison to a reality TV show of, all right, who's going to be the next one that seems to be popping up? Well, what's it been like as far as the location? I mean, everybody's been focused in on that so far, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's the big thing this year. A few years ago, I mean, Foursquare came on the scene, and that kind of set this big thing in motion that we're all going to focus on. And this year it's been about location that real-time shows you who's around. And that's based on interests or friends in common or your job. And this is something that I would say like 6 months ago we would all be so creeped out by that nobody would use it. But things are happening so quickly that everybody here is using it, which also has to do with everybody being a pretty big nerd here. We all want to use the latest app. So we'll see how it does, after South by.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up. We'll talk about that as we continue to go on. But talk a little bit about Highlight in particular. I mean, besides having one of the most aggravating logos, from my eyes, in the history of the world, it just drives me up a wall.
I love it.
But I stare at it and my head starts to just twitch just ever so slowly. But talk a little bit about Highlight. What makes this one kind of rise above the rest, because there are so many?
That's I actually asked when I sat down with Paul Davison, the guy that made Highlight. The first thing I asked him was, I'm trying all these different apps this week that do the same thing as Highlight, and I like Highlight better, and I don't know why, and I need you to tell me. And in addition, being really flattered, he was talking about how just the tiny differences in an app make a huge difference. Like, the user interface is really nice on Highlight. It's really simple. The app doesn't try to do too much. There's a lot of these location apps that want to offer rewards or, integrate with Foursquare immediately or, and push all of your stuff to your Google, just crazy. They go out and they do so much. And this is doing one thing, just one. So the simplicity is a big part of why people keep turning back to it here.
Tell me a little bit more just about the application itself. How does it work? I mean, I myself actually haven't jumped on board with it yet. I haven't seen it in action. Kind of give me a dummy test run. How does it actually work? Well, what is it about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it only works if other people are using it. So here, obviously, that's a great testing ground because everybody's using it. But you open it up, and you'll see everyone who's in the near vicinity of you who is also using Highlight. Not just like your Facebook friends or your Foursquare friends. It's everyone who's using the app near you. So I'll open it up, and it'll say, right now, these 5 people are near you, and these are the things you have in common with them. And it integrates with your Facebook. It takes your Facebook credentials, so it has all your likes there and your friends. So you'll see, like, here's Joe so-and-so. He and I both like the NBA and Star Wars, and we have 4 friends in common. And if I want to, I can go say hi. And that's the basic idea. Or you can highlight people as a little feature on it, which means you're kind of bookmarking them, saying, I think this person's interesting. I had a good conversation. I want to talk to him later. So I bookmarked Robert Scoble while I was here just because I happened to be sitting apparently, and I thought that was awesome. So
from that point of view, I mean, it's got to get interesting when you're in a crowded room with a lot of people that happen to be all on it at the same breath. I mean, that's when it must get a lot of fun, right?
It is. I was telling Paul that when I'm at the bus stop or the train stop at home, the thing I always browse is Instagram, just because it's just like this fun little thing to kind of look up and see what other people are doing, see what their comments are, and it's kind of passive. It's nice just to, I don't always want to play a game on my phone. Sometimes it's just nice to look. And with Highlight, that seems to be what a lot of people are doing. You get to a party, you don't know that many people, or you're waiting in line to get a drink or something, especially at South by Southwest, obviously, and you bring out Highlight and you just see who's here, because there are crazy, amazing people here. And that's true in life generally. You know, there's a lot of people we don't know who are around. So I can see its uses beyond here.
Okay, talk about that a little bit more. Do you, in fact, think it has that staying power? Because I look at this and I start to wonder myself, it's great at South by, and we've seen plenty of great apps come out of South by, but then they kind of fizzle out and they kind of fade to gray after the big launch and the big coming out party, if you will. Do you honestly think this has the staying power? Especially, you know, right off the bat, people are going to be leaving South by and say they head to Boston, they head up to Portland, they head to wherever they might be going. And obviously not everybody there has Highlight anymore, and then they find, well, maybe this isn't actually going to work out. I mean, do you think it has the staying power or what?
I'm still on the fence, but you hit it on the head. That's, Paul was saying, like, South by's been so great, but it creates this artificial sense of ubiquity that everybody's using this, and you go home, and it's like, where are my friends that I've been talking to on Highlight? So, I don't know. I've been kind of struggling with whether I think that this sort of seamless location stuff is a feature or if it's an app. Is it supposed to be on its own, or is it supposed to be integrated into something bigger like Facebook or Foursquare? At the same time, Facebook failed at location. So if anything, if all the apps I've seen that are doing this, this one seems like it could go places. And the things he wants to do with it are pretty amazing. He just keeps telling me that it's all there. All the math to do everything we could ever want with location is there. They don't have to develop it. They just need to start building. So it really, like, the next couple months are theirs to prove that this is, you know, here to stay.
I was going to say, talk a little bit more about that, because the integration part, I think, is the most interesting fact of it. When you were talking about, you know, obviously seeing them and how many people, friends you have in common, and seeing their Facebook and likes, dislikes, so on and so forth. Do you think it's a matter of time before someone like a Facebook just gobbles it up? Because, I mean, that's the age we live in right now, where they're just saying, oh, I'm going to purchase it, I'm going to grab your ideas, I'm going to get rid of the name, and I'm going to say, all right, guess what? I've got you in your mind for a couple of years till you leave the company, and then that's that. I mean, are you thinking something along those lines? I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, they're basically, it's a monopoly at this point. They've got everything cornered at right up to this point, and I don't know what's actually going to come forward with it.
Oh, no, they have to at least be thinking about it and looking into, I wouldn't say they're going to buy up Highlight, but there's a lot of these. There's Lancy, there's Sonar, there's Kismet, and there's so many that are launching all at the same time. They're not all going to make it. They did just, the Gowalla acquisition is, you know, that's Facebook's next thing to try and probably weave in some local stuff. But they've got to be looking at real time and seamless and the auto check-in. So it is a matter of time, I think. I think that this is something that right now is so huge for us, but pretty soon, the fact that you have a phone that does this is not going to be crazy at all. It's just going to be what the phone does.
I was going to say, I mean, it's one of those things that obviously we're going to be talking about privacy concerns. I don't want to really touch upon that right now, because it's the same old story that we hear time and time again, and everybody talks about, oh, the privacy. Yes, we get it. You know what? If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It's as simple as that. Let's not even talk about it. But the last question I'll kind of ask you, for you, as you head back home and you talk to people that aren't necessarily in the space, how do you pitch Highlight to them?
This is something you've always been around people that you don't know that they're there. You know, somebody knows your sister's next door, all these, you know, different scenarios. And it's just new technology that does something we haven't been able to do before. Even if you think that's weird or not useful, I'm just always, I want to try stuff I haven't been able to do before. It's crazy. Why would you ever not do something that we just got handed to us? You know, it's just part of the evolution of this app space and mobile phones, and it's all really amazing. And whether it, you know, this particular app, Highlight, goes on to succeed and be, you know, the Facebook of location-aware apps, I don't know. But this is a new technology. It's the first one I've seen that most completely and intelligently does what it's doing, and you have to at least try it. It's pretty cool to watch.
All right, very cool. I dig it. Molly, good to catch up with you. Go get some sleep, my friend, and you know, we'll obviously be talking with you very soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
Awesome. That right there, Molly McHugh, writer for Digital Trends. She does a great job. Make sure to take a look at all of her stuff on Digital Trends. All right, guys, I'm Tyler Piver, and this has been another In the Field right here on the Pulse on Technology.